it's about. Forget about you couldn't be happy. You couldn't be happy for me. You couldn't be happy that I was the center of attention and you weren't. What is it that you feel so low of me? If you'd like to. No, I want you to dig deep and figure out why you hate me so much and why you're so angry with me, because all of this never happened. I was so happy for you. Why would I not be happy for you? I felt at my wedding that you weren't happy for me. Because you have a serious vendetta. You just are different. You hate it.
Nah, I mean, I sit with records up until the time they're mixed. So it's not like I get everything mixed and then I sit on it another 6 months trying. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not like that. But nah, man, I do it. I work best juggling a couple different albums. You know? Like, yeah, I just recorded like an album with the guys from Mars Volta, with Cedric and Omar. So while I'm doing...
Taking his last name a given, were you to think about that for a while?
It was a given. Yeah, it was just a given. It wasn't a thought.
There's certain patterns to break.
And you think choosing bad partners is like a genetic thing?
When people think of Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker, they imagine a whirlwind romance filled with extravagant gestures, tattoos of each other's names, and nonstop PDA. But behind the fairy tale moments, there are stories that didn't quite go according to plan. One of the most telling examples? Their infamous Las Vegas wedding attempt. Kourtney herself spilled this tea during an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, where she admitted that she and Travis flew to Sin City, completely wrapped up in the idea of making their love official with Elvis as their witness. The plan sounded like something straight out of a rom-com. Rock and roll, spontaneity, and passion at 2 o'clock in the morning. But there was one problem they didn't account for. Las Vegas actually sleeps. The marriage license office had strict hours and was closed until 8 a.m., so instead of walking away with a shiny new marriage certificate, the couple got slammed with a "sorry, we're closed" sign. What was supposed to be a wild, carefree moment turned into a publicity stunt that made headlines but didn't have any legal weight. Fans loved the story at first. After all, who doesn't laugh at celebrities getting caught in such a relatable blunder? But when you dig deeper, it sets the tone for their marriage. Their relationship often looked picture-perfect in public, but in reality, cracks were already showing. Something as symbolic as not being able to officially tie the knot on their big Vegas night hinted at a bigger theme. Spontaneity and passion don't always translate into stability and long-term security. If there's one thing that can shake even the strongest relationship, it's the shadow of old rumors. And for Kourtney Kardashian, that shadow came from inside her own family. Long before Kourtney and Travis became a couple, whispers circulated about Travis's past interest in none other than Kim Kardashian. For years, Travis openly admitted that he thought Kim was hot, even writing about her in his memoir. That might sound harmless, but once Kourtney and Travis tied the knot, those old admissions turned into real cracks in the foundation of their marriage. Imagine being in Kourtney's shoes. Every time the family gathered for birthdays, dinners, or Hulu filming, she was forced to sit across from her sister knowing that Travis once had feelings for her. Even if nothing physical happened, the emotional weight was undeniable. Fans and insiders say this history didn't just bother Kourtney, it gnawed at her. She hinted publicly that Travis's unresolved history with Kim was one of the things that made her question the security of their relationship. It wasn't just jealousy, it was about trust, boundaries, and wondering whether her husband's loyalty had ever truly belonged to her alone. Adding fuel to the fire, Travis's ex-wife Shanna Moakler claimed he was unfaithful and even had entanglements that crossed family lines. While Travis has denied anything ever happening with Kim beyond a friendship, the damage was done. The whispers became headlines. The headlines became stress. And soon, what started as an old story turned into a recurring source of tension. For Kourtney, this wasn't just tabloid gossip. It was a painful reminder that her so-called soulmate carried baggage that directly tied back to her own bloodline. When Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker first got together, they looked like the ultimate fairy tale couple. Their relationship was plastered all over Instagram. Beachside proposals, lavish weddings in Italy, endless PDA at award shows. To fans, it seemed like a storybook romance where everything lined up perfectly. Their kids blended into one big happy family. They celebrated milestones together, and Kourtney appeared happier than ever. But as so often happens with celebrity couples, the picture-perfect image didn't tell the whole story. Behind the scenes, things weren't as glossy as they appeared. Kourtney herself admitted that the fiery, lovey-dovey stage that once defined their romance started to fade. What was once exciting and passionate slowly turned into something more complicated. And not in a good way. She spoke candidly about feeling anxious, even questioning what she was doing in the relationship. That sense of uncertainty hit hard, especially since the public expected them to be the definition of couple goals. The reality is that passion can spark a relationship, but it's consistency that keeps it alive. And consistency seemed to be exactly what Travis and Kourtney were struggling with. While they had their highs, like welcoming their son Rocky in late 2023, their lows were harder to ignore. Rumors of Travis's past, tensions with Kim, and old infidelities resurfacing left cracks in the bond. The contrast between what the world saw online and what Kourtney was feeling privately couldn't have been sharper. The couple who once looked unstoppable was, in reality, struggling to keep their love from unraveling. One of the hardest things to overcome in any relationship is a partner's past. And for Kourtney Kardashian, Travis Barker's history of infidelity became an unshakable cloud over their marriage. Long before Kourtney, Travis had built a reputation as a rock star who lived the stereotypical wild lifestyle. His ex-wife, Shanna Moakler, openly accused him of being unfaithful multiple times during their marriage. She went so far as to claim that Travis was involved with more than a dozen women at once, painting him as a man who simply couldn't commit to one partner. But the most damaging claim? That his wandering eye once included Kim Kardashian, long before Kourtney and Travis were together. Shanna alleged that Kim played a role in their breakup, a bombshell that shocked fans and ignited gossip blogs for years. While Travis has consistently denied cheating with Kim, he hasn't exactly helped his case. He admitted she was attractive and even wrote admiringly about her in his memoir. For Kourtney, that was a bitter pill to swallow. It wasn't just about the rumors, though. Even in his earlier marriages, Travis confessed to not being faithful and admitted he liked his freedom too much to settle down. That history followed him into his relationship with Kourtney, making it nearly impossible for her to fully trust him. Every fight, every moment of distance came with the nagging thought, was she just the next in a long line of women he would eventually grow tired of? For Kourtney, trying to build a life with Travis meant constantly battling the ghosts of his past, and those ghosts never truly went away. If there's one thing the Kardashian-Jenner family is known for, it's putting family first, at least on camera. But when it came to Kourtney Kardashian's marriage with Travis Barker, the family dynamic wasn't exactly smooth sailing. A major point of tension was the resurfaced rumor that Travis once had a thing for Kim Kardashian. Even though both Travis and Kim downplayed the speculation, the very idea of it was enough to strain Kourtney's trust and stir up drama within the family. Fans noticed the awkwardness during family gatherings, where the sisters were forced to share space while pretending nothing was wrong. Hulu's reality series even gave viewers a front row seat to some of these uncomfortable dynamics. In one season, Kourtney and Kim sat down for a heart-to-heart conversation, seemingly trying to resolve their differences. But when the cameras stopped rolling, it was clear the wounds were far from healed. Sneak peeks of upcoming episodes suggest that despite moments of reconciliation, like Kourtney posting a sweet birthday message for Kim, the tension still lingers under the surface. On top of that, Kim reportedly feels that Travis has been slowly pulling Kourtney away from the family. Sources claim Kim thinks Travis's influence has made Kourtney more distant, fueling the narrative that he's a wedge between the sisters. And then there's the added sting of Kourtney dressing as Kim for Halloween, poking fun at her sister's iconic Met Gala look. Some saw it as lighthearted, others thought it was a subtle dig. Either way, it highlighted the fragile balance between sisterhood and rivalry. For Kourtney, the situation is layered. She's not only trying to navigate a marriage with a complicated man, but also protect her bond with her sister. Unfortunately, those two worlds keep colliding. From the outside looking in, Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker appeared to be the ultimate couple. Their public displays of affection became a trademark, whether they were sitting front row at an awards show, posting steamy Instagram photos, or sharing intimate kisses on red carpets. Fans either loved it or hated it. To some, it looked like pure, unfiltered romance. To others, it felt excessive, almost like a carefully crafted performance designed to sell the image of a perfect Hollywood love story. But behind the curtain, the reality didn't match the spectacle. Insiders claim that Travis often took the lead in how their relationship was presented, controlling the narrative of what the public saw. The more they kissed and cuddled in front of cameras, the more people wondered, was it genuine passion, or a desperate attempt to prove their bond was unbreakable? Kourtney herself hinted at feeling the weight of those expectations, especially when dealing with Travis's unresolved issues with his ex, Shanna Moakler. The constant need to perform their relationship publicly added pressure, and instead of strengthening their bond, it magnified the cracks. Kourtney reportedly began making choices to keep Travis happy, changing her style, adjusting her habits, while Travis seemed to pull further away. Fans started to notice she didn't look like herself anymore, as though she was molding into Travis's ideal rather than standing as her own person. In the end, their love story became a paradox. The more affection they showed in public, the more doubts grew about what was happening behind closed doors. Their so-called fairy tale looked flawless on Instagram, but in reality, it was a relationship struggling to hold itself together. One of the most worrying aspects of Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker's marriage has been how much Kourtney herself has reportedly changed to keep the relationship afloat. Friends close to her have whispered that the woman who once proudly preached authenticity and independence has slowly started reshaping her identity to match Travis's preferences. From her wardrobe choices to her eating habits, sources say Kourtney has adjusted little parts of herself to fit into Travis's world, a move that raised red flags among those who know her best. Instead of radiating her usual confidence, Kourtney began second-guessing her style and even admitted publicly that she was trying to find herself again. That's not something fans are used to hearing from her. For years, she was seen as the Kardashian sister who valued her own voice above all else, someone who didn't conform to Hollywood's expectations. Yet suddenly, her friends were saying she didn't seem like the same Kourtney anymore. The bigger problem? Travis didn't seem to appreciate or reciprocate those changes. Reports suggested that while Kourtney bent over backward to make him happy, Travis became more distant, fueling the imbalance in their marriage. It was almost as if the more she tried to hold on to him, the more he slipped away. Relationships should be about compromise, but they should never strip someone of their core identity. For Kourtney, the fear of losing herself while trying to keep Travis close became one of the saddest storylines of their marriage. A reminder that love, when one-sided, can turn into something that feels more like sacrifice than partnership. By the time Travis Barker jetted off to Australia with Blink-182 for their global tour, the cracks in his marriage with Kourtney Kardashian were already starting to show. For Kourtney, it was a make-or-break moment. Determined not to let the distance widen the gap between them, she decided to tag along, bringing their baby Rocky and her daughter Penelope in hopes of turning the work trip into a family bonding experience. On the surface, it looked like a romantic gesture, a wife supporting her husband while keeping their young family close. But the reality painted a very different picture. According to fans and insiders, Travis didn't seem thrilled about Kourtney's surprise presence. Photos surfaced of the couple together in Sydney, and while Kourtney was all smiles, Travis appeared detached, even irritated. What was supposed to be quality family time ended up feeling more like added stress. To make things worse, when the band traveled to other cities like Perth and Adelaide, Kourtney and the kids stayed behind in Sydney, missing out on both the tour and Valentine's Day celebrations. Behind the happy family snapshots, insiders revealed that Kourtney was exhausted. Between jet lag, managing the kids, and adjusting to life on tour, she was overwhelmed and worn out. Yet despite her efforts, Travis remained distant, making her sacrifices feel unnoticed. Instead of repairing their marriage, the trip highlighted just how out of sync they had become. For many fans, the Australian tour symbolized the imbalance in their relationship, Kourtney clinging tightly, trying to fix things, while Travis seemed to drift further away. What was meant to save their marriage ended up underscoring just how fragile it really was. One of the most surprising revelations about Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker's marriage is that even after their wedding and the birth of their son Rocky in late 2023, the couple still doesn't live under the same roof. For many fans, this was a shocking detail. After all, isn't sharing a home one of the most basic steps in building a life together? But according to Kourtney, their arrangement was intentional and designed to keep their kids comfortable. In a candid conversation on the Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast, Kourtney explained that both she and Travis wanted their children to feel secure in the homes they had always known. Each child had their own bedroom, their own routine, and their own sense of stability. Rather than uproot everything, the couple decided to keep separate households. Though conveniently, their homes were right across the street from each other. They'd host family dinners, co-sleep with their kids when needed, and shuttle between houses. On paper, it sounded like a modern, blended family solution, but the optics told another story. To outsiders, living separately looked less like a thoughtful parenting decision and more like a marriage struggling to fully merge. It raised uncomfortable questions. Were they truly blending their lives, or just keeping things close enough to look united for the cameras? Kourtney insisted the arrangement worked, but critics saw it as another sign of distance, both emotional and physical. Ultimately, the choice to live apart underscored the bigger theme of their relationship: together, yet not fully aligned. It worked for the kids, but for the marriage, it hinted at unresolved issues lurking beneath the surface. When you piece together all the cracks in Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker's marriage, the resurfaced rumors, the family drama, the staged-looking PDA, and the fact that they still live apart, it paints a picture of a relationship hanging by a thread. Fans, insiders, and even the media have started asking the hard question: is divorce inevitable? On the surface, Kourtney continues to show support for Travis, whether it's flying across the world to be by his side or defending their unique living arrangement. But beneath that loyalty lies a woman who has admitted to feeling anxious, drained, and uncertain about where her marriage is heading. Reports suggest she's exhausted from trying to keep the spark alive, while Travis has been increasingly distant, focusing more on his music and tours than on their relationship. Then there's the Kardashian family dynamic. Tensions with Kim remain unresolved, and whispers about Travis's past with her refuse to die down. For a family that thrives on image, this type of scandal isn't just personal, it's public, and it chips away at their ability to present unity to the world. The speculation only grows louder when fans notice Kourtney's attempts to reshape herself around Travis, while he seems less invested in compromising for her. That imbalance, paired with a history of unfaithfulness, has many wondering if this marriage was doomed from the start. At the end of the day, Kourtney and Travis's love story has become less about fairy tale romance and more about survival. Whether they find a way to rebuild or decide to walk away, one thing is clear: their future together is anything but certain.